I'm going to address a few comments. I actually listen. You guys, a lot of you guys are telling me that you like it. When I address comments. And I'm not. I try not to be Mr. Reply to all comments. I just don't have the time for all of that. But every once in a while, man, you have to sort of not really call these people out, but you really do have to address them. So a couple days ago, I released the short video that was actually a part of another video I did called the story behind my second felony charge. If you guys want to know what that was all about, go back and watch it. The long and the short of it, of what happened is a guy thought I disrespected him by walking by him and not saying excuse me. He told me I was fucking rude and that I shouldn't be walking around like I was king shit. I decked him, caved his face in, I broke his nose, cracked his orbital bone, and gave him a concussion. I was arrested right then and there for aggravated assault. The district attorney, interestingly enough, wanted to hit me with assault with a deadly weapon, which would have been far worse. Now, the reason why he couldn't charge me with assault with a deadly weapon is because my hands are not registered as deadly weapons. If a guy like, say, I don't know, Ed Lattimore were to take a swing at someone and drop them to the floor, Ed Lattimore would be charged with assault with a deadly weapon because Ed Lattimore, though retired, has a boxing license by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Boxing license gives you a license to assault another man in the ring within the confines of the fight. Well, when you're a professional fighter, you have to register your hands as deadly weapons because when a guy like Ed Lattimore hits someone, it does, or theoretically, could do far more damage than a guy like, say, me could do. Well, the district attorney wanted to argue that my physical strength, even though I'm a man of large stature, my physical strength far exceeds that of a normal man. Probably right about that. And of course, the judge asks him, okay, well, what are you basing this on? Well, the videotape showed the defendant striking the victim just one time, and the guy had to have facial reconstructive surgery. Obviously, that was denied. That was thrown out because I've never had a professional fight in my life. Been in plenty of fights. None of them have been sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission or any other commission. So I'm very fortunate that I was not charged with attack with a deadly weapon. That's how hard I hit this guy, is that the DA wanted to sort of overcharge me. Anyway, I lost my cool. I took full responsibility, but interestingly enough, got a few comments from some of my guys that weren't really so flattering. So let's go in here and take a look at these. So the first one here by Rail Bell says, "What's with black guys and sucker punching? Cowardly shit, bruv." What's with black guys and sucker punching? So let me look up. I should have already done this. Sucker punch definition. You guys are just going to have to take my word for it. Here we go. I actually can screenshot this. Sucker punch. There we go. Let me get that out of here. And I will put this. So a sucker punch is an unexpected punch or blow. A verb is to hit someone with an unexpected punch or blow. Joe sucker punched him and knocked him out when used in a sentence as a verb. Now, how can I put this? Definition-wise, was it a sucker punch? By definition, yes. Yes. The guy, I don't even remember the guy's name. he was Italian, Hispanic. He was like Italian and I think he was Italian and Spanish, like European Spanish. Very light-skinned guy. Obviously had American sensibilities. One would characterize him as the typical white guy. He certainly sounded like one, but you know, when you get all the discovery, his nationality is his parents were from his father was from Spain, and his mother was from Italy. Had a brain fart there. So he said, "Cowardly shit, bruv. You've earned your time." Now, by definition, did I sucker punch the guy? Well, yeah. But that's exactly the problem. That's exactly the problem. This dude walked up on me, and listen, I'm not glorifying what I did. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was justified in what I was doing. Okay? But the fact that this guy did not expect me to strike him after approaching me, insulting me, talking shit, walking around like you're king shit, is exactly the problem with today's men. That's actually one of the main problems with today's women. You see, a lot of guys walk around, a lot of guys and women particularly, but we're going to talk about men. A lot of guys walk around and they're all confrontational, right? They're all confrontational. This dude walked up on me, talked a bunch of shit, and expected to just turn around and walk away. Nope, that didn't happen. As soon as he said king shit, I struck him, knocked him down, I broke his face. The fact that he did not expect that to happen is the problem. Somebody else made a comment, and I should have put it up here, is that when you're interacting with other men, there's always a low level, I don't want to say threat of violence, but there's always a low level expectation that the interaction could turn physical. This is why men typically approach each other with respect, right? Men know that if we disrespect one another, things could come to blows. Myron Gaines talked about this on his podcast weeks ago before the whole shitstorm started. When he kicks out guys, when he Frank Castles guys, they're always quick to get up and get the fuck out. Why? Because they know that if they don't act right, they're going to get dealt with physically. Women, not so much. Women know that if they act a fool and they're swinging on guys. Myron has been assaulted by more than a few women he has kicked out of the Fresh and Fit studio. Well, the reason why they do this is because they know that if Myron retaliates, Myron is going to jail for at least 72 hours. Well, men, unfortunately, have adopted this same mindset. Men these days, online and in public, think they can just walk up on a guy and just, you're fucking rude, you're this, you're that, walking around like you're king shit, and the guy just expected to turn around and walk away. Well, that didn't happen. Does that justify what I did? No. But he had it coming. And if it wasn't going to be me, it was probably going to be somebody else. And like I said in the previous video, did he deserve to get hit? Yeah, he did. Now, I shouldn't have been the one that hit him, but I'll tell you this. I'll bet you he never mouths off to anybody again. See, that wasn't the first time he'd ever done that. I could tell. He approached me very, very, he's like right there in front of me, and he's just da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I can tell he had a habit of doing this. You guys remember the bagel guy, the short bagel guy, talking a bunch of shit? Remember that guy? That guy was just hothead, running off at the mouth. He's challenging guys half his size. You want to step outside? Dude, come on. So, sucker punching, cowardly shit, bruv. I earned my time. I didn't get any time. I paid a hefty fine. I paid some other expenses. And I did not get any jail time. Very, very fortunate of that. But if you disrespect another man, you should expect a physical confrontation. You should. This is why men address each other with respect, because there's always a low level, not that you're thinking about it, but you know that if you disrespect a man in a certain way, then things could come to blows. This is why men treat men with more respect than women treat men. Let's go to the next comment. Fatelvis 2 says, don't understand how you passing someone in a grocery store became an issue. Yeah, me neither. Well, the bottom line is this. The guy was envious of me. He was. He could tell. Like, I was well dressed. I smelled great. I walked with confidence. The girl I was with was a pretty girl. Just having a conversation. The guy was envious. It wasn't about me passing by him and not saying, excuse me. No, he was just pissed off that I was living a better life than him. That's it. That's it. Let me look at the next one. Ambo says, I bet the dude was white. White guys be saying some wild stuff to black guys when they're jealous. Nevertheless, glad you've matured. Can't be out here catching cases. Appreciate that. Then Dana Perrin says, no white man is jealous of a black man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. No white man is jealous of a black man.
No, the fuck you didn't.
Listen, man. Listen. And I wasn't trying to make this a racial thing. I didn't, I didn't talk about the race of the other guy, right? Italian, Spaniard. Most people would probably just assume he's white because he was very light-skinned, right? American sensibilities. It is what it is. Whatever. But this is funny. Dana Perrin says, no white man is jealous of a black man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Listen, man, and this is no slight on white guys or black guys, but Dana's wrong. There are plenty of white guys jealous of black men. There are. This is not a slight on white people. This is, look, man. Look, again, I was well dressed. I was confident. The girl I was with was white. That might have been what his real issue was, now that I'm thinking about it, right? Anytime I go places with Devin, the two groups of people that are always looking daggers at us are white men and black women. Those two groups of people are jealous. And look, shout out to O'Shea. He has said this before. The two most racist groups in America are white men and black women. And when they see a good-looking brother like myself with a good-looking white girl like Amanda, they feel some type of way. They feel some type of way. That's not my fault. Now, I don't know what the stats are. Are most white guys jealous of black men? Of course not. Probably not. Right? Probably not. But that's cute of her to say no white man is jealous of a black man. Well, Dana, you've been living under a rock. The next one, Mr. Snuffles says, sounds like he had an accurate assessment of you at the time. Yeah, he did. Now, I think the one fallacy was that I was not rude. I didn't say anything to him. I simply walked by him and didn't say, excuse me. I don't even remember passing the guy. That might be what it is, right? But Mr. Snuffles, I guess, calls himself trying to call me. Yeah, well, sounds like he had an accurate assessment of you at the time. Maybe he did. Listen, I admitted it myself. I was walking around like I was king shit. Well, because I was king shit. Like, don't be mad at me, right? Don't be mad at me. Here we go. This is the second worst one. Ed Stevana says, Donovan, you need someone to walk into your studio with a, let's see, Nug Tosh and blow your warped thoughts all over your display behind you. I'd love to see it on live stream. I'm going to pass on that. I don't think that would be a very pleasant situation for me. I don't think that would be a very pleasant situation for me. I personally would not like to have my thoughts blown onto the wall. Not only would I be dead, but my YouTube channel would be taken down, right? Because you can't broadcast that kind of violence. So Ed Stevana, I appreciate your suggestion. I'm gonna have to listen. I gave it some thought. Like, it wasn't an automatic decision, but I'm gonna have to politely decline the offer. Listen, as exciting as it would be, for some reason I don't think I would I don't see where I would benefit from that. So I will respectfully decline your suggestion. And finally, we've come to this guy. So everything is upside down. Commented, he wasn't out of line. I guess talking about the guy that I knocked out. Black people need correcting, sadly. Look around. Being corrected is not out of line. You should have been grateful to him. You hit a guy who was trying to help you with both of his hands occupied with a pizza. That is some female energy, if ever. Let me guess, your mom raised you. Yeah, let's take this from the bottom. Yes, my mom did raise me. My mom did raise me. Had a very weak father. My mother was a very dominant woman, clearly because my father lacked the requisite leadership skills to be able to lead a family. And when the most influential person in your life is your mother, well, you tend to adopt female characteristics such as being quick to emotion. My mom was a woman. She used to overreact to dumb shit all the time. And so I adopted that mindset and personality. Now, that does not absolve me from what I did. Okay? I made the choice to hit the guy, right? I am 1,000% responsible. I'm not going to sit here and blame, well, Your Honor, I was raised by a single mother and no. I made a conscious decision. To hit the guy. That's on me. I paid my debt to society, literally and figuratively. That situation got dealt with. But yes, I was raised essentially by my mother. And I've never run from this, guys. I've never run from this. I've said it myself. Listen, man, I was raised by my mother, and that's why I'm quick to emotion. It has taken me years to finally get this under control. And you guys have watched this. You guys, listen, guys who have watched me from the start, you guys have seen my evolution. You guys have watched me struggle with my temper time after time after time. You guys have seen it. I lost 2 YouTube channels because of my temper, right? But the difference between, I guess, a man and a boy is that you have to be self-aware enough to recognize where your deficiencies are and put yourself in an advantageous position in order to come out the other side, in order to solve your issues. So yeah, was that some female energy? Yes, that was female energy. That happened November 15th, or I'm sorry, the last time I got arrested was November 15th. That was 7-8 years ago. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, I am really getting tired of these people. There. So yeah. Now, he said he wasn't out of line. Black people need correcting, sadly. I disagree with that. Everything is upside down. I disagree with that. The guy who walked up and confronted me was out of line. You don't walk up to another man and talk to him in such a way that would be, and you don't walk up to another man and disrespect him like that. You don't walk up to a man and say, hey, guys like you are fucking rude. And then sarcastically say, next time you might want to pay attention to where you're going instead of walking around here like you're king shit. That's disrespect. Disrespect is out of line. Now, black people need correcting, sadly. Yeah, some people do. Black people and white people need correcting, right? He said, look around, being corrected is not out of line. No, it's not out of line, but there was nothing about my behavior that needed to be corrected, other than the fact that I slugged the guy, right? No, I was a man walking around with confidence. What needs to be corrected about walking around with confidence? Everything is upside down. And then he says, I should have been grateful to him. You hit a guy who was trying to help you with both of his hands occupied with a pizza. Nope, disagree. That guy wasn't trying to help me. The guy was trying to clown me in front of my girlfriend. He was trying to disrespect me in front of a crowd of people. Not, it wasn't a crowd of people, but this guy thought that he could walk up and disrespect me and that I wouldn't do anything about it because there were people around. Well, he thought wrong, and he paid the price. He paid the price. So no, he was not trying to help me. He was just trying to disrespect me. He's just trying to run off at the mouth, and I'm the first guy that ever did anything about it. Then another guy Says, same. I was like, WTF, you knocked out a guy just because he gave you some advice while holding 2 pizzas in both hands. No, it was 1 pizza being held with both hands. Now, both of these guys are disingenuous. Okay, both of these guys are being disingenuous. He didn't give me any advice. What he said was like, hey, man, I don't like the fact that you're walking around here cocky. I don't like cocky guys like you. Listen, he has a right to say whatever he wants to say. But that wasn't advice. That wasn't advice. He wasn't trying to help anybody. He was trying to help himself. Trying to make himself look good, I guess, in front of the girl I was with. He disrespected me. Says, DS sounds like he has no emotional control. Yeah, at that point, I didn't. He said a better man would have said thanks, then walked off. So this guy comes up to me and says, guys like you are fucking rude. You walked right past me, didn't say excuse me. Next time, you might consider looking around or looking ahead instead of walking around here like you're king shit. I'm supposed to say, thanks. Appreciate that. I appreciate your advice. I appreciate you doing that for me.
Nope.
Not a chance. Then walked off. He got himself into trouble just because of that. Sooner or later, some guy is going to pull out something and defend himself, and someone could die in the process. Yeah, B1121, that's wishful thinking, brother. I no longer put myself in those positions. And interestingly enough, my anger management therapist and my attorney told me the same thing. They said, hey, look, Alex. They said, look, dude, one of these days, you're going to run up on a guy who has a weapon or who is a badder motherfucker than you are. And things are not going to end well. Right? Things are not going to end well. I took that to heart. I removed myself from Las Vegas a few years later. Haven't had an incident since. But what this guy is saying, sooner or later, some guy's going to pull out something and defend himself. Someone could die in the process. Yeah, I hate to disappoint you, man. That someone is not going to be me. I know you want me to die. I know you want me to somehow pay the price for this. That's not going to happen, my friend. Then, of course, everything is upside down with a follow-up. Says, you are projecting. You were not there. The person who was brutalized will simply claim the cliches about black people having no self-control, etc. to be true. The 1% of blacks who are decent will be unfairly judged by him, but the other 99% will be judged exactly for who, sadly, they are today and have been for many decades now. Then the last thing he said, Men don't walk up to other men while holding boxes in both hands and say antagonizing things to provoke a response while being completely indefensible. That plainly doesn't happen. Yeah, actually, he's half right. He's half right. The guy didn't expect me to slug him, but I did. And like I said before, that's the last time he'll ever do that again. So no, that plainly doesn't happen because guys like him get dealt with. If he was antagonizing, he would have been ready to defend himself with both hands. But that's just the thing, B1121. He should have been ready to defend himself with both hands. How can you as a man expect to walk up on somebody, disrespect another man, and not be ready to defend yourself? This is how soft men are, guys. And the guy was older than I. He was probably, what was I? I was in my mid to late 30s at that point. The guy was probably, 41, 42 years old. He should know. We're both Gen Xers. Then he said, so many black guys want to turn everything into racism. You don't even know if the guy holding the pizza boxes was black. I hate to break it to you, B1121, but I didn't say anything about racism at all. Your boy, everything is upside down, said it. Said black people need correcting, sadly. So your homeboy actually turn this into a racial thing. Here are my closing thoughts on this. And listen, man, this is going to piss a lot of you guys off. I don't give a fuck. A lot of people that watch me feel this way about me. A lot of the guys who criticize me, they do it disingenuously. They call me a career criminal, etc., etc., etc. They don't really care that I'm a career criminal, at least not in that regard. Most of my trolls, most of my African American trolls are guys who secretly wish they could do what I do. And they could. They've just chosen not to. They've chosen to sort of put a cap on themselves, right? White guys who criticize me, a little bit different. White guys who criticize me and talk about my woman and all this other kind of stuff, what they're really saying, what they're really thinking is how the fuck does this guy have what he has? How the hell is this guy on track to be a millionaire in less than 2 years? How in the world is a 4-time convicted felon, a guy who's been arrested almost 30 times, why is it that he is able to live a life of dominance? Why is he living a good life and I'm not? I haven't committed any crimes. I haven't been convicted of anything. I've never been arrested before. I haven't done any of this stuff. How is it that Donovan Sharpe, the evil, emotional bad guy, why is he able to live the life I want to live? I should be Donovan Sharpe. I'm the guy who should be living that life. I did it right. I didn't assault anybody. I don't have a criminal history. That's not fair, they think to themselves. That's what a lot of my critics and detractors think to themselves. It's not fair. It's not fair that this guy, despite all of the mistakes that he has made, it's not fair that he lives a better life than 99.9% of people in this country. It's not fair. It's not fair that a nigger with a criminal record like that, it's not fair that niggers like that live a better life than me. And I'm a white guy. I'm supposed to have the advantage. Feminists are always talking about white privilege and this and that, yet this nigger who has committed all these crimes and been arrested, why the fuck does this guy live the life I want to live? That's not fair. So now we're going to talk shit about them. That's all it is, my friend. That's all it is. That's all it is. You see, what this really comes down to, is just envy. This is envy. This is jealousy. Case in point, Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson spent all spring long talking shit about me. Straight up, talking shit about me. Rollo Tomasi, shout out to him. He's in the chat. He absolutely understands what it is. He says those sunglasses are a crime. You better believe it. You better believe it. But that's what it comes down to. These guys simply cannot believe. These guys think that it is unfair that despite having the criminal history that I do, despite having made every possible mistake with women, these guys are pissed off that guys like me who have committed real crimes still come out the other side. That's what it comes down to. Black pill guys, what's his name? Southern Israelite. Jealous. MGTOW dictionary. Jealous. Envious. That son of a bitch lives with his fucking mother. No wonder he hates me. Anthony Johnson lives with his sister. Still has a car payment. Broke as a fucking joke. You know what? I'd go after me too. So the bottom line here is that all these guys who are virtue signaling, and listen, this is funny. You can tell this guy is the angriest of the angry. This guy right here is so angry it's coming out of his pores. This guy, everything is upside down. This guy is seething. To use a word from On the Block with Jen. This guy is seething. You want to know how I know he's seething? Because of how cool and calm and collected he appeared to be. He wasn't out of line. Black people need correcting, sadly. The cooler they sound in their little monologues and their little paragraphs, the angrier they are. So everything is upside down. Look, man, if I were you, I'd hate me too. If I were you, I would hate me too. Because there is no way on God's green earth a guy like me should be where he is. No way, as far as you're concerned. You sons of bitches are all fucking haters, man. And every time you sons of bitches come after me, I keep going. And the further I get, the more pissed off you become. So look, I'll be as transparent as it comes about my criminal record, and you guys can say whatever you want about me. I don't care. It's all out there. If you want to know my extensive criminal record, go to 21 Studios. He's done all the research for you. Shit, he found stuff that I didn't know about. Right? But that's what this comes down to, guys. That's what this comes down to. When you live a life that most men can't, despite making those mistakes, they can't stand it. They played by the rules. They did everything right. There's just one problem. These guys are fucking lazy. They're fucking lazy. They think that they deserve success simply because they're men. Oh no. None of this was handed to me, guys. I had to go out and fucking go get it. And that's what the fuck I did. Real talk. Real talk. My haters, my critics, my detractors, they think that I just woke up and decided, I'm going to be a content creator. Bloop, 100,000 subscribers, just like that. Not the way it worked.
Nope.
No, I had to work my ass off. And that's the part that they conveniently leave out. So to you passive-aggressive white guys who want to bring up my race, black people need to be corrected. It's not against the law to be racist. Matter of fact, there are a lot of racist guys. Listen, a lot of my subscribers are racist. Listen, man, shout out to you white supremacists out there. Please like, subscribe, and share.